What up, everybody? YouTube Live, how's it going? How's it going? Ugh, see, my microphone is old, so probably it's time for me to buy a new one, something sturdier. This is not sturdy at all. All right, right now is a Saturday, February 8th in the afternoon, and this is as good a time as any to give my Oscars predictions because the Academy Awards is tomorrow. That's right, the 92nd Annual Academy Awards. Man, that means 8 years from now, we'll be celebrating the centennial, 100 years of Oscars. Could you imagine? It'll be a great celebration. So anyway, let's get right through the categories. I'm gonna go from the visual effects all the way to the major ones, acting and of course Best Picture. As far as the shorts, live action shorts, animated shorts, documentary shorts, I don't have any disrespect, towards them. I mean, I no disrespect whatsoever. I think they are awesome people. I encourage those filmmakers. But I don't really have strong opinions about those three categories. So we might just skip those three categories, okay? But I wish them the best. May the best one wins tomorrow. All right, so I wish I could show you my computer screen. I don't know how to do the live streaming the computer screen like some other YouTubers do. So if you know how to do it, please message me. I would love to learn it. All right, so but I'm reading off of my screen here. Best visual effects category, and the nominees are Avengers Endgame, The Irishman, The Lion King, 1917, and Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. For all the criticisms that we may have about Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, we gotta admit, ILM did a good job as always. They're like the wizards when it comes to visual effects. The Irishman did de-aging technology thing, fantastic. Obviously Robert De Niro, younger version in that movie does not quite look like he did in Raging Bull, for example, or Taxi Driver, but it came close. The Lion King, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that because the movie is just so dull. 1917, incredible film, but I think it's more of on a cinematography aspect that this one will excel at. So, my prediction: I predict the winner of Best Visual Effects will go to, or the Oscar for Best Visual Effects will go to Avengers Endgame. That's right. I think Marvel Studios will win big for this one. Best sound mixing category. And the nominees are Ad Astra, Ford v Ferrari, Joker, 1917, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. You know what? I gotta go with 1917. Usually, whenever there are war movies like Hacksaw Ridge or Saving Private Ryan, they usually win this category. Sound editing and sound mixing. It's just a history thing, a trend thing. War movies usually win these two categories. So I'm gonna go with 1917 for best sound mixing. Best sound editing. The nominees are Ford v Ferrari, Joker, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. I'm going to go with 1917. My prediction is that 1917 will win Best Sound Editing. So again, the Oscar for Best Sound Editing, I predict, will go to 1917. The next category, Best Original Song. And the nominees are I Can't Let You Throw Yourself Away from Toy Story 4, music and lyric by Randy Newman. I'm Gonna Love Me Again from Rocket Man, music by Elton John, lyric by Bernie Taupin. I'm Standing With You from Breakthrough, music and lyric by Diane Warren. Into the Unknown from Frozen 2, music and lyric by Kristen Anderson Lopez and Robert Lopez. Stand Up from Harriet, music and lyric by Joshua Bryan Campbell and Cynthia Erivo. I gotta be honest with you, I haven't heard Stand Up. Um, I guess I gotta check it out on YouTube. I'm a fan of music, so it's not that I don't like it. It's just that I haven't heard it yet. I haven't checked it out yet. Into the Unknown, it was okay. It was okay. I watched Frozen 2. It was not a great sequel, and the songs were not as phenomenal as Let It Go, Let It Go. You remember that when Let It Go came out, it was like a cultural phenomenon. It was gigantic. Everybody was like doing their own versions of it. That's how pervasive and how contagious it was. Into the Unknown did not have that effect, but Kristen Anderson Lopez and Robert Lopez already won Oscars twice for Let It Go and for that Coco song. Remember that? The Pixar movie Coco. So I don't think they're gonna win their third one. I'm Standing With You. I don't know the song. I apologize. I Can't Let You Throw Yourself Away by Randy Newman. Randy Newman already has 2 Oscars. I would not rule him out because he's a fantastic songwriter. But my prediction, I predict that Best Original Song Oscar will go to Elton John and Bernie Taupin, the dynamic duo, for I'm Gonna Love Me Again for the movie Rocket Man. By the way, Elton John had won Oscar before for the song Can You Feel the Love Tonight for the 1994 animated movie The Lion King. But his partner on that song, I think it was Tim Rice, I believe. I gotta look it up again. It was not Bernie Taupin. Bernie Taupin is, his partner like in, forever, right? But on the 1994 animated movie Lion King, it was somebody else. So now Elton John's gonna win his second Oscar, and he's gonna share it with his writing partner, that's been with him since the beginning, and that's gonna be awesome. Best Original Score. The nominees are Hildur Guðnadóttir for Joker, Alexandre Desplat for Little Women, and then oh man, I forgot to put the names in here for Marriage Story. Let's see, I believe Marriage Story. Where are you, Marriage Story? There you go. Found you. The composer, I believe, is, I had it right in the back of my head too, just in the tip of my tongue. Randy Newman, that's right. Randy Newman for Marriage Story. Thomas Newman for 1917. And John Williams for Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. Jeez, John Williams, man, how many? I know he has like freaking 5 Oscars. I mean, how many nominations over the years, spanning across like what, 4 decades of career, maybe 5 decades. Man, John Williams is a legend. But everybody is praising Hildur Guðnadóttir's score for Joker. If you haven't heard that soundtrack yet, I recommend you go check it out. On iTunes or Spotify. It is so haunting. It stays with you. I'm not a musician or a composer, but I guess I'm assuming that the cello sound in it is just like, and the violin is so, it creeps up on you, sort of thing, and it fits the themes and the mood of Joker, and it's fantastic. So Hildur has won a lot of awards leading up to tomorrow. So I predict that the Oscar for Best Original Score will go to Hildur Guðnadóttir for Joker. Thoughts on Shazam? It was all right. I like Shazam, but we're not talking about Shazam right now. We're talking about the Oscars. So Shazam is not nominated for anything. All right. So the next category is Best Makeup and Hairstyling. The nominees are Bombshell, Joker, Judy, Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, and 1917. This is easy. it will go to Bombshell. It'll go to Bombshell easily. It's the same guy. I forgot his name. It's the same guy who won Oscar for makeup and hairstyle on the movie The Darkest Hour. Remember that? Gary Oldman with his fat bodysuit, looking like Winston Churchill. And so he's the same guy who did that. He did Bombshell. So as much as I love Joker and Judy and all these other nominees, I predict that the Oscar for Best Makeup and Hairstyling will go to Bombshell. Live action short film, we're gonna skip that. I don't have any opinions on that. Best International Feature Film, here you go. Formerly known as Best Foreign Language Film. And the categories are Corpus Christi, Honeyland, Les Miserables, Pain and Glory, and Parasite. Oh man, people have been telling me to go watch Pain and Glory because Antonio Banderas got nominated this year, and it's like, oh my god, it's a great movie, Rama. And Les Miserables, I've been hearing buzz about it too since I think Cannes, right? It premiered at Cannes last year, and Les Miserables is not the same as the 2012 with Hugh Jackman singing. This is like I hear that this is like a modern take or present day take on it. But I think who are we kidding? Who are we kidding? The winner, or I should say the Oscar for Best International Feature Film will most likely go to Parasite. That's right, Bong Joon-ho's masterpiece. So let's see here. All right, the next category is Best Film Editing. In the past, or over the years, usually whoever wins or whichever movie that wins film editing ends up winning Best Picture. That's usually the indicator. But in recent years, it hasn't been that way. I think, let me double check here because I have my computer in front of me. Yeah. So in the past, it's like, okay, whenever they call the movie that wins the Oscar for Best Film Editing, they come up to accept the trophy or the statuette, I should say, and then everybody's like, now we know who's gonna win the Best Picture at the end of the show. Usually that's the case in the past. But in recent years, you see discrepancies. Like whichever movie that wins film editing does not necessarily mean that it's gonna win. Best Picture. For example, 2019, last year, guess which movie wins film editing? Let's see here. I'll give you a hint. We are the champions, my friend. That's right. Last year, the Oscar for film editing goes to Bohemian Rhapsody. But did Bohemian Rhapsody end up winning Best Picture? No. The winner ends up being Green Book. So for this year, the nominees for Best Film Editing are Ford v Ferrari, The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, and Parasite. That's tricky because I have in my pocket prediction that Best Picture winner will be 1917, but 1917 is not part of film editing. So it's going to be that case again where the film editing winner this year will not be the same as the Best Picture winner. So I predict that the Oscar for Best Film Editing will go to Parasite. I think it'll go to Parasite. So, I may be wrong, but that's my prediction. So you can take that to the bank. All right, so the next one is Best Documentary Feature. The nominees are American Factory, The Cave, The Edge of Democracy, Soma, and Honeyland. I gotta be honest with you, I haven't seen any of these, but it seems that from the momentum that's been going on, the awards leading up to tomorrow, I'm guessing American Factory might have a bigger shot at tomorrow's victory. So I'm going to put my money on American Factory. So here it is. The Oscar for Best Documentary Feature will go to American Factory. Best costume design. By the way, before moving on to best costume design, I am so pissed, so annoyed that my favorite documentary last year did not get nominated. The Biggest Little Farm. The Biggest Little Farm. If you haven't seen it, it's a must see. You got to put it on your bucket list. It's one of those things that you got to watch before you die. It is so life affirming. It's so heartwarming. It's so inspiring. The Biggest Little Farm got snubbed, yo. That was not cool. So go watch it. The next category, best costume design, and the nominees are The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Now, over the years, as you know, usually the trend is period piece movies usually wins this category. All right, period piece movies usually win best costume design. So I'm predicting the Oscar will go to Little Women. Little Women will win best costume design. The next category, best cinematography. And the nominees are The Irishman, Joker, The Lighthouse, 1917, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And the Oscar for best cinematography goes to 1917. You know what's so fascinating about this one is that up to like, when did the first screening for 1917 start? I think it was November. Yeah, up till November, mid after Thanksgiving, right? Mid to last November. Up to that point, everybody was praising Joker cinematography, including me. I was like, Joker's gonna win it in this category all the way to the Oscars, baby, because it was so good. If you've seen the film, you know what I'm talking about. But then, bam, come mid-November when 1917 press screening, the first screening happened, that's it. It was game over. Game, set, match. Roger Deakins like, all right, step aside. Let me show you how it's done. And it's amazing how Roger Deakins, prior to Blade Runner 2049, he had been nominated for Oscars like, I want to say, I got to look it up, but I want to say about 11, 12 times. He never won, not even once. And then, bam, Blade Runner 2049, baby. So he won Oscar, his first Oscar, after getting so many nominations. He finally won his first one. And then within the span of what? So that's like 2018, and now it's 2020. So yeah, in just a few years, he's finally gonna win his second one. It's awesome. It's awesome. Goes to show persistence pays off. Don't give up, man. Keep owning your art. Keep mastering your skill. Keep making new projects. And Roger Deakins like, you know what? With every Oscar nominations that he didn't get to win, he's like, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna get back up. I'm gonna show everybody how it's done. So I think 1917 will win best cinematography, hands down, easily. The next category, best art direction / production design, and the nominees are The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. I want to say this is a tough one. Now, this is a tough one because all these nominees deserve to win. They're all good, man, as far as production designs go. But I'm gonna have to pick one. I'm gonna predict that the Oscar for best production design / art direction goes to 1917. 1917, baby. All right. Next category, best animated feature. And the nominees are How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World, I Lost My Body, Klaus, Missing Link, Toy Story 4. Oh my God. I haven't seen I Lost My Body, so I don't have opinions about that. If that ends up winning, it'll be like a headliner, like holy crap, came out of nowhere. Instead of these other more famous nominees in that category. I love Klaus. Oh my God. If you haven't seen Klaus, go watch it on Netflix. Missing Link, it was to me it was not one of Leica's best movies. If you compare it to like Coraline or all the other stuff that they've done over the years, I can't remember right now, but it's not up in that level. Um, Toy Story 4 was magical. It made you cry like all the Toy Story movies do. If Toy Story 4 ends up winning, that would be fantastic because a decade ago, Toy Story 3 won Oscar for Best Animated Feature. How awesome is that, right? That the third and the fourth installment, getting or winning the same category in the span of just a decade. How to Train Your Dragon, I don't think it has a chance. So I think I'm. I want Toy Story 4 to win. That's my favorite to win. But that's not, this is not about what I want, right? It's not about who I want to get, to take home the statuette. This is about what I predict, or this is my prediction. Who I predict the Academy voters will pick. That's what this is about. So I am predicting that Missing Link will win Oscar for Best Animated Feature this year, even though I wanted to go to Toy Story 4 instead. So the Oscar for Best Animated Feature will go to Missing Link. The next category, Best Original Screenplay. And the nominees are Ryan Johnson for Knives Out, Noah Baumbach for Marriage Story, Sam Mendes and Christy Wilson Cairns for 1917, Quentin Tarantino for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Bong Joon-ho and Han Jin-won for Parasite. Oh, this is so tough. This is a tough category. All of them deserve to win, man. They all do. And you can't underestimate Hollywood's obsession and love for Quentin Tarantino. They just love Quentin Tarantino. He won for Pulp Fiction. He won for Django Unchained. He got nominated for his other movies as well. Hollywood loves Quentin Tarantino, so you can't rule that out. But I'm gonna say, and I would be so on my feet here if he wins, and I think he will, because this is about predictions. I'm predicting that Best Original Screenplay will go to Bong Joon-ho and Han Ji-won for Parasite. That's right. Parasite will win Oscar for Best Original Screenplay. So that's my prediction. Next category, Best Adapted Screenplay. This is based on other existing materials, such as books. And the nominees are Steve Zalian for The Irishman, Taika Waititi for Jojo Rabbit, Todd Phillips and Scott Silver for Joker, Greta Gerwig for Little Women, Anthony McCartan for The Two Popes. Well, Greta Gerwig did not get a nomination for Best Directing, but she did get one for Best Adapted Screenplay. Little Women, as you know, is a classic that has been like redone many times. Like every other decade, we get to see a new version of Little Women. The Two Popes, the strength of that is the dialogue, such wordy. It's a conversational driven kind of script. Joker is the dark mood that comes with it. I love Joker. It's based on, of course, DC character, so it is adapted. But I gotta say that I'm predicting Taika Waititi will win Oscar for Best Adapted Screenplay. I'm just seeing the momentum that he's been having. He's won all these awards leading up to tomorrow. So I think Taika Waititi finally will get his first Oscar win ever. and it's gonna be for screenplay, adapted screenplay. Um, Next category, best director. Best director. And the nominees are Martin Scorsese for The Irishman, Todd Phillips for Joker, Sam Mendes for 1917, Quentin Tarantino for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Bong Joon-ho for Parasite. This is easy. No offense to Bong Joon-ho, but all signs point to Sam Mendes winning. So the Oscar for Best Director will go to Sam Mendes for 1917. By the way, Sam Mendes already won an Oscar before. It was for American Beauty. Mwah! I loved American Beauty. You know, that's why I tell people like, hey, you know, despite what we may think about Kevin Spacey, you know, I'm not gonna like boycott his movies because he's, you know, especially American Beauty, because it's such a fantastic, phenomenal masterpiece, in my opinion. So Sam Mendes will win his second Oscar. All right, the next category is Best Actress in Supporting Role. Kathy Bates for Richard Jewell, Laura Dern for Marriage Story, Scarlett Johansson for Jojo Rabbit, Florence Pugh for Little Women, and Margot Robbie for Bombshell. Easy, Laura Dern. By the way, all the acting categories this year, they're easy to predict. So easy. Unfortunately, you know, all of them will be white people. You know, hashtag Oscars so white. But these four white people will win the acting categories. So, all right. So the next category is Best Actress in a Leading Role, and the nominees are Cynthia Erivo, the only person of color nominated in the acting category this year, for Harriet, and then Scarlett Johansson for Marriage Story, Saoirse Ronan for Little Women, Charlize Theron for Bombshell, and Renee Zellweger for Judy. Again, easy. Renee Zellweger will win Oscar for Best Actress in a Leading Role. So, all right. So the next one is Best Actor in a Supporting Role. The nominees are Tom Hanks for A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, Anthony Hopkins for The Two Popes, Al Pacino for The Irishman, Joe Pesci for The Irishman, and Brad Pitt for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Easy! If you've seen all the award shows leading up to tomorrow, including the Screen Actors Guild, Brad Pitt will win. And Brad Pitt actually had won Oscar before. If you remember, he won for producing, as a producer, on the movie 12 Years a Slave. So this will be Brad Pitt's first Oscar win in the acting category. He's been nominated for acting before, Moneyball and 12 Monkeys, but in the past he only won once for producing. Now he's finally going to win as an actor kind of thing. So that's awesome. The next category, Best Actor in a Leading Role. The nominees are Antonio Banderas for Pain and Glory, Leonardo DiCaprio for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Adam Driver for Marriage Story, Joaquin Phoenix for Joker, and Jonathan Pryce for The Two Popes. Easy! And the Oscar for Best Actor in a Leading Role is, say it with me, Joaquin Phoenix for Joker. And it's been a long time coming, man, because Joaquin Phoenix is one of those guys who is just consistent, you know, in his body of work. He's been nominated before for The Gladiator supporting role, The Master. He got nominated for The Master. I forgot what other movies. So he finally, right, after so many nominations, he finally gets to win his first one. And this one is also momentous. This victory is momentous because a decade ago, Heath Ledger won Oscar posthumously as in like after he passed on. You know, his family got up on the stage and accepted the statuette. A decade ago, Heath Ledger won Oscar for playing Joker in The Dark Knight. So Yeah. Fast forward to today, Joaquin Phoenix will win an Oscar for playing Joker. It's amazing, right? I mean, I think if you ask me, the role of Joker is like the envy, of all the actors. Like it's a character that's so like every actor wants to like, yeah, if only I could just get cast to play Joker. I mean, I could probably you know skate my way all the way to awards because this is such a fantastic character to play. So yeah, it's very momentous. I don't know if Joaquin Phoenix. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know if Joaquin Phoenix will mention Heath Ledger in his acceptance speech. I know he did though. I think he did for SAG Awards. He mentioned Heath Ledger. So we'll see. We'll see. And Best Picture. That's right. This is the last one. And the nominees for Best Picture are Ford v Ferrari, The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, Marriage Story, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. And the Oscar for Best Picture goes to 1917. Yeah. Everybody loves that movie. Now, I gotta say, if Parasite ends up winning Best Picture, I don't think it'll be a controversy. I don't think people will be like, oh my God, 1917 got robbed. No, no, no. Because everybody also loves Parasite. This is not like Moonlight versus La La Land, you know what I'm saying? Or Forrest Gump versus Pulp Fiction, or Forrest Gump versus Shawshank Redemption. No, this is the front runners this year are Parasite and 1917. And everybody generally loved those two movies. So I think either one, if they either one wins, nobody will be like up in arms and get upset about it, or like outraged, like, oh my God, Parasite got robbed, or like, oh my God, 1917 got robbed. I think either one of these, everybody's just gonna be like, hey, each one deserves it, man. Yeah, 1917 wins, awesome. Parasite wins, awesome. But I predict this. This is a prediction. This is not about what I want. I predict that 1917 will take the big trophy, the top prize. So yeah, those are my predictions. Oh my God, we're done. We finally got through all of them. Reaction Live 21. Which movie do you think will win the most Oscars? I think it'll be pretty fair even this year. It's not gonna be like there's not gonna be like one movie doing clean sweep. You know what I'm saying? Like freaking Lord of the Rings to Two Towers, like freaking clean sweep. I think it's pretty spread out this year, even out among the movies. There's gonna be a few that 1917 will take home. There's gonna be a few that Parasite will take home, but it's not gonna be like overwhelming, like oh my God, like dominant sort of thing. I guess, but to answer your question though, I gotta say I think 1917 will probably win more than other movies, in my opinion. But it's not gonna be like two stand out like last, in previous years, like clean sweep, like freaking 11 wins, whatever. No, I don't think it's gonna be like that this year. So yeah, that's my prediction for tomorrow's Oscars, which by the way will air on ABC live at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time. And then, of course, it'll run for like 3.5 hours. After which, immediately, once the ceremony ends, I will be back right here on YouTube live stream to give you my reactions. My response, my thoughts about the winners and the memorable moments that happen during the evening. So make sure you come back here, youtube.com/ramascreen1 to chime in with me on Oscars night right after the ceremony ends. Okay, right here on this channel. That's it. Those are my predictions. Let me know what do you think about them. Do you agree or disagree with my predictions? Do you have your own predictions that you want to share? Share them. Share your predictions in the comment section below. I would love to see what you think. This movie or this actor or that actor will win the Oscars this year. Share your thoughts in the comment section below. And as always, subscribe to my channel, press that like button, ring that bell, and if you can help support me, please do so at patreon.com/ramascreen. That's patreon.com/ramascreen. Okay, I gotta get back to work. Let's wrap this.